Okay, everybody, thank you for joining. I'm sorry that song was cheesy, but I had to do it. It's the first pump up song that could come to mind. So thank you everyone for joining. My name is Casey Werner. I am the Director of Marketing here at Blue Goji. Let me see if I share my video, how much of the screen I'll take up. All right, let me confirm with my guest host, Angie. Angie, okay, I'm good? Okay, we'll continue. So my name is Casey Werner, and we also have Angie Frazier here on the call. She's the head of our customer support. So she will be helping me at the end of today's webinar, hopefully get your questions answered and manage the Q&A section. So we have a lot to go over today, and I will try to go as slowly as possible so that you can understand all of the new information. And I'm sure many of you have been wondering where the challenge page was and why things have looked differently this year. We have tried to reach out to everyone that has registered and let you know and apologize for any inconveniences with these late communications. But we hopefully have exciting news that will explain some of the delayed communication this year, an exciting new experience for everyone participating in the rally. So if you have joined before, know that things will look different. We will not be using Bike Manager this year. And this is the start of something new and fresh here at Blue Goji. And so this is being tested first with our wonderful YMCA clients. We look forward to hearing your feedback, and hopefully this new experience can be enjoyable and fruitful for your YMCA to reap a lot of donations from this very important event. And I don't know if I've said yet, but this is the 10th annual rally for the Y, so it is a big deal. So we are going to go ahead and start with the slides. I also want to make sure to say that not everything will be covered today. We will be doing another webinar next week for a little bit more details and some of the new systems. That's because we don't want to overwhelm you today. So we're going to give you the basics of what you need to know to start getting people ready for the rally. And then next week, we'll dive into some of the deep details. And then we're happy to answer questions in between. I have everything at the end that you should need to know. And feel free to add a Q&A or a question at any time to the chat or to I believe you have a Q&A box. But just know that we'll try to keep those for the end so we can power through and get through all these slides. So if you are new to Blue Goji and the Espresso bikes, you might have never participated in the rally before. And so first, we just want to cover the basics. Many of you know this, but what is the rally? So like I said, it's the 10th year that we are celebrating this opportunity for YMCAs to fundraise for their annual campaigns. And essentially, we're just giving you all a platform to be able to track activity and translate that into donations. I come from a nonprofit background. I have a decade of experience working with and for nonprofits, so I know how important fundraising events are and how unique it is to have an event that actually engages your potential donors and members and to actually educate them so that they become long-lasting, recurring donors. So this is a great event to get new people involved, and not just involved, but educated, so that they're not involved once, but that they can donate throughout the entire year. So again, let me say, this is not a platform where we handle transactions. This is just a platform that helps track activity to then you handle the transactions directly. So looking at the past, there is, and I forgot on one slide to say, that Blue Goji will donate 10 cents per every mile that your members ride. And so looking at the past, while Blue Goji or in the past Espresso made that donation on behalf of the riders, it doesn't mean that that's it and that's all you have to do. If you really take this challenge to the fullest and utilize it and push it at your YMCA, you can raise so much more. So these are numbers from 2020, but majority of the fundraising dollars raised during Rally for the Y are not from our specific matching gift. It's from you all doing peer-to-peer fundraising or looking for corporate sponsors, getting everyday members to be riders who ask their neighbors and their friends and their families for donations. And so over the past 10 years, we're almost to the 2 million mark. Hopefully this year we can break it. That is really impressive. And I know there's a lot of YMCAs participate, so you've gotten a small portion of that 2 million, but over 10 years, people have been involved and people care about this event and look forward to it. So we hope you do too. And last year's results. So every year in these webinars, I'm going to try and give you guys a look at what last year's are. And there are trends. I think 2020, because it was pre-COVID, right before COVID, was maybe one of the most fruitful years for this campaign and this challenge. And I know other nonprofits are experiencing slumps in their fundraising, at least with the nonprofits that I keep up with, hearing that a little bit of donors just being exhausted, donor exhaustion after COVID. And so hopefully this can be a fun way for you guys to bring donors back in. But we still did great last year. And so over $200,000 was raised for YMCAs with over 2,000, nearly 3,000 riders participating. And so this event, like I said, is more than just the fundraising dollars. And it's more than just the 10 cents per mile by Blue Goji. So this is about creating a community, as you all do at YMCA, that works towards a common goal. So you're becoming a team, and there's that friendly competition in between YMCAs of trying to beat out another Y within your association or another Y across the nation. And then this is a chance for your YMCA to tell stories of impact. So you can post through your newsletters or on social media with the rally communications, or even post it up, print it out on a poster next to the rally communications. And that's because you want people to know, why are they riding? What stories of impact can you come up with to motivate them to participate, and to motivate them to not just participate, but fundraise on your behalf? So education is a huge part of this. And then it's a relatively easy ask for staff members. They work there, obviously, and they might not be as involved with all your fundraising efforts, but this is an easy one because they're there already. They can hop on the bike. They can, if they're a trainer, they can work alongside a rider and they can ride together for the rally in February. And then member engagement and retention. Like I said, if you get people caring about your cause, you'll not only get them to hopefully donate making reoccurring donations, but keep them as a member to your YMCA. They feel that emotional connection. They helped participate on behalf and fundraise for your Y. Why would they cancel their membership and leave elsewhere? They've started to know people and connect with people through Rally for the Y. And then last, it's an opportunity to engage your youth members in a fundraising campaign, which is really unique. I know that's not common for a lot of nonprofits to be able to explain the importance of fundraising and the importance of generosity to teens and preteens and kids. So this is a really fun way to get them incorporated. I have a story from one of our YMCAs. I was lucky enough to be on a Zoom call with two of their kid I guess you could say preteen riders. They're around the age of 12, 13. And two of these boys at YMCA St. Augusta competed with each other during Rally for the Y. And they even told Eddie, their youth program director, that they were going to come in and ride for the rally before school started. And of course, he was like, that means you have to come in at 5. I doubt you guys are going to come. But he came into work the next morning, and there they were riding and trying to beat each other. And they would come after school because they started to compete between each other who could raise more money. And they did a great job. It wasn't just the 10 cents per from Blue Goji. They were going above and beyond, reaching out to friends, parents, and who could say no to sponsoring a kid that's willing to put in the work, especially if they're willing to go in at 5 a.m. before school. So I promise you, involve your kids and you will reap the benefits, and not just financially, but getting them involved and understanding what that means, I think is really special. And then how it works. So I imagine most of you here are already registered for Rally for the Y. And if you're not, you can do so at bluegoji.com/rally for the Y. There's a link, you fill out a form, and then we receive your registration and we will add you to the tournament. And there was a little bit of confusion this year because it wasn't as it normally was in the past, where as soon as you registered, you might see yourself on the challenge page. You'll see why there's a difference here in a second. But so if you haven't registered, that is your step number 1. Make sure your YMCA in each location, not just your association, is registered for the rally. And then there, we'll talk about, you can also see the promo kit. So you can start marketing it at your YMCA. And so as members log in on the bike and start riding, we will donate 10 cents per mile during the miles they earn in the month of February. And then staff and members are encouraged to get additional support. Like I said, reach out. This is a peer-to-peer fundraising event. So get people to involve their people. And the pledges are tracked online. Like I mentioned, we do not process any transactions. We just give you an idea of, okay, how many miles did they ride? How many dollars should their supporters donate? And something on that is, I know with the registration link, we did ask this year for your YMCA's bank account information of your routing number and account number. That is to avoid delays. In the past, we would take time after the rally, calculate the totals, and then send it via the mail, via a check. This year, we're going to set everyone up with this software called bill.com. And then we can just pay YMCAs directly through bill.com. So there's no paper trail. It's just online, and you'll receive the donation faster. And that will be helpful because in the past, we've had some system errors and checks getting lost in the mail. You never know what can happen. So this will hopefully simplify the process. And if you registered before and you didn't have that bank account information, you can either register again and add the bank account information, or you can email us. I have an email here at the end, so you can write it down, but it's just events@bluegoji.com, and we can make sure to get your YMCA's account information attached. All right, so the resources that we supply everyone with. These vary widely because we want to make sure that you have enough to work with, but we also know that a lot of YMCAs will adapt these resources and expand upon them to do what works best for you and your Y. But these can all be accessed at the bluegoji.com/rally for the Y. And a few things I want to hit on that might not be on at this link can be found on the Facebook page. So this is the Facebook community page for Rally for the Y. If you are not a member, or if you are a member and who knows how the algorithm always works, like if you haven't been seeing the posts, then I encourage you to go to the page and view recent posts because we have links to things like the Amazon cart with suggested decorations, and then our t-shirts. And so we have a lot of different t-shirt options this year. We have sweatshirts, we have hoodies, we have a long sleeve t-shirt, youth sizes, and a tank top. We know some of you guys might be riding in your sweatshirts that live up in colder environments, and then maybe the YMCAs down here in Texas. We never know how the weather's going to change. You might need to ride in your tank top. And we also have these forms. So we've had in the past a way for you to point out riders that have achieved the goal of raising a minimum of $100. So hanging those in your lobbies, like Scott raised $100, and you cut out these squares and you start posting them on the wall. And as hopefully you get further along into the month of February, you'll have more names showing up on this wall as an example of the effort your members are putting in. And also to bring awareness. If people are like, why has everyone been going really hard on the bikes lately? Or what do all these signs mean? Then they know that they can sign up and also be a part of the rally. So we have things like email headers and flyers with information about the rules and the prizes, and then bike sign-up sheets. And so we recommend bike sign-up sheets because it helps make sure that your members know if you have a limited number of bikes, that if they come after work and they're trying to raise money for the rally, then they have secured their spot. They've reserved the bike. And it helps you make an efficient use of your bikes, that everyone doesn't just happen to show up at the same time and then you can't really use it, but people can spread out the time in which they are riding so that your Y collectively can always have someone on the bike riding to gain support. And then we even have little social media icons that you can use. We do sometimes add things as we go. So just always be looking at this link and seeing if we've added anything new that you guys can use to help promote. And this is a large poster if you wanted to print this out large, or several of them, and then cut out these squares and post them around the logo so people know what they raised $100 for. So as you've noticed, we have a new look this year. So we're celebrating 10 years with a new look, and that includes the logo and the brand and the colors. They slightly change. It's not drastically different. And then we're going to have a new leaderboard that I'll show you here in a second, which is why the rally hasn't looked the same on espresso.com. We have a new rider registration process, which we hope is easier for everyone at the rally. And then we have an app. And so that has been one of the exciting new surprises we have not publicly announced, and we likely won't publicly announce until after the rally. We want you to push it at your YMCAs, but we want to make sure we're just focusing on offering support to our YMCAs first. So we'll get into that here in a second. So one of the new things that is happening this year that we hope makes the rally process easier for you as YMCA is that riders don't need to register. And we've heard different people, on the feedback that we are getting is that the process has varied over the years, and sometimes the join button on the bike doesn't work, or it requires a staff member to be by the bikes with an iPad registering riders so that they can participate in the challenge. So now there is no opt-in. As long as someone creates an account or has their account on the bike and rides during the month of February, then they'll be able to earn the 10 cents a mile. Because in the past, sometimes at YMCAs, you might have one rider that's not as involved. They didn't ever register, but they were still logging in and biking miles on their espresso bike. but you guys as a YMCA weren't earning anything for that individual. So now we hope you guys are happy to hear that they're not going to have to register this year. And so that does make things a little interesting, because in the past, when you registered, is then when you would start fundraising and setting up your pitch and reaching out to supporters. So we'll walk through that process, but know that people will show on the leaderboard when they get their first pledge. And I had fixed pledge in here, but know that it's not just fixed, it's any pledge. And then when they begin pedaling on February 1st. So it's either or, whichever one comes first. So right now there's not many people on the leaderboard. You'll see there's exactly 2. And those are my 2 examples I've created for today. So these are dummy accounts that you'll see we have created a donation for. So once you get a donation, you'll show up on the leaderboard. And that, we hope, will also incentivize riders to get supporters. We know some riders do inevitably participate, but they don't embrace the peer-to-peer fundraising aspect. So they just do the 10 cents a mile and that's it. And that's great. They're putting in effort and they're contributing. However, we know a lot of riders, especially espresso riders, are competitive. And we wanted to take that as an opportunity for you all to incentivize them to, okay, if you want to be competitive, then you need to reach out to your friends and family and try and get a donation, because that's the only way you will show up on the leaderboard before February 1st. If not, you're going to have to wait. So this will also help show which riders and what success comes with preparing. So starting earlier rather than later. So how riders can edit their pledge. So we have a new system. It's going to be replacing the bike manager or the rider profile leaderboard. So I want to make this very, very clear today and let you know there will be more detailed training. But if you walk away with anything today, is that visit bluegoji.com/rally for the Y or rallyforthey.com, which they switched over the link today. So for some of you, it will show this new page. Some of you, it might show last year's. It should be fully updated by tonight. That is where the leaderboard will live. Anything that you do or set up in Bike Manager will not communicate to this page. So if you try and set up a corporate sponsor in Bike Manager as a bike owner, it will not communicate to this page. If you go as a rider into Bike Manager and have your uncle sponsor you, it will not show up on this page. We did hear that it's showing up under some people's rider profiles on the espresso side. So we're going to disable that to avoid all confusion, but just know this is what the new leaderboard looks like. So you'll go to rallyforthey.com, and if it is showing up for you, you'll see our new version, which is exciting and colorful. And all the teams that have registered up until about a few hours ago should show up here. If you've registered afterwards, then I will register you after this call. And when you click on riders, what's different is because there is no opt-in join button, you will not see a list of registered riders. Nobody will show up. So you need the riders to come to this page, and then they will click set up my pitch. When you click set up my pitch, it will take you to this login screen. And so you will use your same account as always that you used to get on the bike and log in. Here, you can click this button, set up your pitch. This is going to be the generic default, so everyone's going to have something that shows up on their profile. But then I adapted mine to something that felt a little bit more personal, and you can always edit it in the future. So from here, I would be able to share my profile with friends, family, neighbors, coworkers, etc. And they can sponsor me. As you'll see, this is automatically generated, the Blue Goji 10 cents per mile. So say that I share my profile. This is what they're going to see when I send them that link. Support Casey Werner. And so I set it up as my husband donated to me. He's going to make a $25 donation. It's going to be a fixed donation. And there I am. I'm the first one that you will see on the leaderboard. These are all screenshots just to make sure we didn't have any Wi-Fi issues today. But if you're to visit the webpage, you'll see a second individual on the leaderboard. And that one is an example of getting, I believe we did 25 cents per mile. So either fixed donation or per mile donation will trigger the system to show that person on the leaderboard. And again, this is to motivate riders to start asking everyone to donate to them, sorry. Here you can also see the rules. You can go back to the promo kit. You can get the shirt. Once a larger list of riders starts populating, you can click support a rider, and then you can go through all the names and find someone. This page will also update in the next several days to include, as we have more riders, the support button right here. So you could support from the leaderboard. So here's an example of what it will look like once we have more riders participating. It will show your rank, and you can filter by age. You'll be able to see who's participating and which YMCA they are at. And if they exceed the goal, which this goal is not correct here because they all raise a lot of money, they should all have the badge, but the badge will come up next to their name. So that is what it will look like, hopefully in the coming week or two. And so if you were to support Rachel, then you could go through, fill out your donation, and then you would be greeted with a thank you message. Your support means a lot, but also please stay in touch, because at the end of February, that's when we have to remind donors to go to your YMCA's website to actually fulfill the transaction. So if they do 40 cents per mile, that's just a pledge on our website, because then they have the whole month of February to actually accrue miles. If you do 40 cents per mile, you have no clue of knowing how much you're going to owe, for lack of better words, at the end of the month. So by the end of the month, if someone, only rides 1 mile, then you're only donating 40 cents, but hopefully your members will do more. And so this is exciting. Something new that we have this year is the Blue Goji app. So if you have the App Store, this will be available on iOS and Android. And I have an iPhone and I downloaded it this morning. It was in the App Store this morning, so you can go there and download it right now. It's just called Blue Goji. And we're hoping this will help people this year with Rally for the Y. So how people can edit their pledge within the app. Once you log in, you'll see your profile and your information. You can view your activities and challenges, and we'll get to the social piece here in a second. You'll be able to click on this picture right here, or you can go to challenges and navigate and click on this photo. And then I was able to go and filter the leaderboard by riders. I can view my stats, and then I can edit my pitch and share. And so I believe this is showing blank right now because the rally hasn't started yet. So on February 1st, it'll start tracking, and here it'll say, you've raised $400 so far for Rally for the Y, and will help you track how much your YMCA is raising. So then I can click on myself or click on my stats and click my supporters and see who all has pledged. So if I'm trying to keep track of which friends and family to thank, I can do that easily from my phone. And we hope that this will be an easy way for people to track the leaderboards from their phone, that you don't have to go on your desktop computer to go to the website. But everyone's obviously on their phone these days, for better or for worse. And so something exciting, if you have the latest model of our bikes, so the Espresso bikes by Blue Goji, then we have an exciting solution to the headache that is logging in and typing, your username and your password every single time. So I'm going to go back here and show you the big highlighted QR code at the bottom of your app. We tried to make it big because we think it's going to be one of the most used features of the app, is quick bike login. So when you click on that, you'll be opened up with your camera and be able to just scan this code and ding, you're in. It's got you logged in. You don't have to type anything. You don't even have to really touch the screen. You are just logged in and ready to start playing. And I will get confirmation for everyone, and I will post in the Facebook page and in the apps bulletin of what day this will be on the bike. I believe it's this weekend, if not early next week. So let me confirm that, and I will get back to everyone maybe even before this webinar is over. So I mentioned the community bulletin. In the past, there was a lot of people that were part of the Facebook group, and we're still going to post there. We're not going to disappear from the Facebook group. I don't know if anyone's been paying attention to the Facebook group in the past year. We have a huge problem with spam. We get these most bizarre Facebook posts that I have to clean out regularly. And it's only being used, this Facebook page, typically during and around the month of February. So we wanted to create a way with the app that will expand beyond just Rally for the Y, but for bulletin boards, so that we can always keep people in the know. If the servers are ever down and you're experiencing bike issues, something more reliable than just social media and not knowing which social media account to go to, or if you should email support. We will have bulletin boards here, so you can always just check in, and we will be messaging and letting you guys know updates about challenges or about issues with our servers, etc. And so here is our first post. Expect more. We'll post links to things like the Rally t-shirt, and hopefully encouraging stories that we hear from you all on the field of how the rally's going during the month of February. Eventually, we hope to give permissions to you all to post as well, so it can be more of a conversation. But for the meantime, there's no plans for members to be able to post into these bulletins, because we do want to keep it simplified. So just view this as kind of your communication portal that will update. And so, like I said, this is being tested with the Y first and the Rally first. We want to make sure that we just focus on serving you all during the early release of this app, versus trying to open it up to each and every organization, each and every challenge. And so tips for rider engagement. Let me take a sip of my water real quick. Okay. So how do you be successful at Rally for the Y? And something we've noticed with YMCAs that are always within those top 10 spots on the leaderboards from past years is they have corporate sponsors. So they're reaching out to local businesses and having them sponsor all of their members at 10 cents a mile, or a fixed donation, or whatever it might be, a generous $1 per mile. And so really try to think who's in your community that makes sense for you to reach out to. We considered putting out a solicitation type letter in the promo kit, but we figured that would kind of defeat the purpose of you creating meaningful relationships with the businesses in your community. Make it personal. And we know each YMCA with their rally chooses to fundraise for different types of programs. So really be specific, again, bringing up those stories of impact. If you're fundraising for a specific thing, like sending or paying for spots for youth members to participate in camp, or paying for swimming lessons for families in need during the summer months. Put that in your letter and make that really personalized, and why you chose that business to reach out to and to sponsor you all, why it makes sense and why it's a good fit. If you've never done corporate sponsors before, I encourage you to. And if you have done them, we really encourage you to re-engage last year's businesses. If they donated last year or the year before, then maybe they're able to do so again. So that's always a great place to start. And then to even ask them who they would recommend you reach out to. A lot of business owners have their own community. And so starting there is a great place, and starting with your members that are also business owners. So in your newsletter or whatever you do to communicate with your members, ask them, are any of you business owners that would like to sponsor us in the rally, or friends with business owners in the local community? And then we recommend you pull your rider list from the past 1 to 3 years in Bike Manager. And so if you don't know how to do that, here kind of are the steps before. So if you've logged into Bike Manager before, you have a pretty simplified look at what you're able to do. You click fundraisers, and then you'll scroll down. So here's last year's rally, and click rider report. That will generate a CSV document where you can pull all emails or all names from last year and reach out to those individuals to ask them to join again. And sometimes we recognize there's people that might have participated 3 years ago, but not last year. If you're allowed to reach out to a member that's 3 years old, reach out. Maybe they were out of town last year, or they had to pause their membership for a reason, and maybe they're back. And if they're not back, then maybe they can join again and become a member and participate in this year's rally. And then again, encourage riders to go ahead and just start getting donations. I apologize that this only says fixed donations, but encourage them to get donations to kick off the month. Encourage that friendly competition of who can get on the leaderboard before the event even officially starts, before you can start pedaling. So more ways to motivate. Again, YMCAs that are really successful do a great job with decorating their lobby, to also give visual impacts of the amount of people that are participating. So those signs, like, say Scott raised $100, being able to post those starts to show how many people at the YMCA are involved. And for those that are not involved, they'll want to get involved because they're going to become curious. Put balloons around your bike. We even know some YMCAs will move their bikes from the typical cardio section to the lobby so that it gains more attention, so that when you come into the YMCA, you always see someone on the bike. Not every member will like that. They might not want to be sweating or drenched in sweat at the front of your YMCA greeting everyone, but maybe you just move 1 or 2 of your bikes up there and keep the rest in the cardio section. And then have fun. So something that I loved, that if you guys have participated before, you probably know the queen of the rally. I'm sure she's here today. I haven't been able to look at the list. Yvette. She created this concept of an endless ride, and I love it. So I'm going to share this story for her. And we had her last year on the webinar, but since we have so many new systems this year, unfortunately, we didn't think we'd have enough time to fit in guest speakers. But be sure to go to our YouTube page and watch last year's webinar if you want inspiration from Yvette or Peter, 2 of our top fundraisers for the rally, or top leaders, I guess I should say. So Yvette does this thing called Endless Rides, and it's going maybe live on Facebook or Instagram, or just posting regularly. She says, hey, I'm going to start riding the bike at 2 p.m. I will not stop riding the bike until I fundraise $2,000 on my page. And that's it. She posts it out, and then she'll give, whether it be 15-minute updates or 30-minute updates or a live check-in every once in a while. She says, I'm going to suffer until you guys show up. And something about that, they've done studies on this before. It's why fundraisers where people have to shave their heads work. It works. People will come in and either they think it's funny or they, want to see you work for it, but they'll show up for you and they'll donate, especially if there's something extreme involved, like the shaving of the head or saying, I'm going to ride potentially for forever until you guys show up. So I encourage endless rides or overnight rides if you're able to at your YMCA. Stay open all night, especially that's a great thing. It might be difficult to coordinate, but with youth or teens, an all-nighter where they can ride, even if you don't stay open all night, but till midnight or something, and order pizza, and encourage them to participate. Something else we've done in the past is sharing your sweaty selfies, going against the culture that you got to look great to post a selfie on social media. But these selfies are great because they're meaningful. It's you riding and impacting your community. So you should be proud of that sweat. And then incentivize your staff. So we recommend getting gift cards or having a celebration party or buying them bike shorts because their booty's going to be hurting by the end of the month. Just giving prizes that you can recognize members and staff members to participate. And so I know YMCA, it might have been Peters, would have the different teams within the YMCA compete. So whichever team raised the most, then they would get to go bowling or whatnot. And then you can even have an offsite celebration. So there was a YMCA that did an event at a local brewery. And it was kind of just hey, we're ending the rally. It ends this week, or we just ended, whatever it may be. We've all created new friendships and relationships through this, and we want to celebrate you. So come and have a beer on us and enjoy your hard work. And then again, seek out those corporate sponsors through your member network. I can't emphasize that enough. Like you saw in the graph at the beginning of this is not just about earning the 10 cents a mile. This is about peer-to-peer fundraising and involving your local community. So future training, we will do a training, and I tried to switch it up. So that way, if people are not able to do today's time and Thursdays, then next week we're going to do it on Wednesday at 2 p.m. We're going to go over a few things like your donation link and corporate pledges. So things that you would be able to access in the old system, Bike Manager. If you do have any concerns or any corporate pledges that you're like, hey, I want to get on our page immediately, please just email us here, and Angie and I will get this set up before this webinar. But the most effective way to do these trainings is to do them collectively versus us meeting with every YMCA one-on-one. And like I said, there's a lot to take in. I'm already out of breath from talking for 45 minutes. So if we were to go into all the details that not even all YMCAs utilize, then this would go well over an hour. So we're trying to be respectful of everyone's time, which I believe leads me to, the Q&A. So we'll open it up. We have 15 minutes, oh my goodness. See, I'm tripping over my words. A lot of time to hopefully get your questions answered. So if you haven't already, start submitting those. And Angie will help me navigate through them. Let's see if I need to, okay. So I think I've opened the Q&A now, so you can submit your questions. Let me make sure that is everything that you need. Great question. So Michelle asked, sorry, Angie, I saw. Do you donate 10 cents a mile to match donations or just straight out? Straight out. It's just flat donation, 10 cents a mile. Great question. I'm sorry if I used the word matching in there. Are espresso team captains still a thing? I tried to do it on the website, but the required video didn't load. They are currently not. I think I've been told that was even kind of ended before I came on board a year and a half ago. We are creating new systems. on ways to get certain people more involved. I do know that team captains still exist within the system, so you can log in and still see your designation, or leaderboards will designate people that are team captains with a special C. But there is no team captain training or I'm assuming video requirement that they would have had in the past before I joined. Great question again, Evan. Do the Blue Goji games count towards the 10 cents per mile? Yes, and I'm so sorry I didn't answer that. So if you do have the latest product model of the bikes, you know that Espresso is now just one of the many gaming worlds that we have. So if you play Solitaire or Creature Crunch, or you're brave enough to do Go Bikes in mountain modes, which I'm not brave enough because it's such a good workout. All of those count for your 10 cents per mile. And even if someone were to sponsor you at 20 cents per mile, you can play any game except for manual training. So we do want you either on a road or playing a game or doing a, Espresso game, road, or Blue Goji game.
It looks like there's another question too.
Yes, I'm trying. Oh, we've got a few more coming in. Okay. I see that teams are not fully updated. Is there any way we can update the teams for 2025? We have had associates that now work at other locations. I think I'm understanding your question, AJ, but if I don't answer this correctly, you can email me at casey@bluegoji.com or events@bluegoji.com. If you're referring to an associate that works at a different location and they have not registered for the rally, they can still register and we will add them as those registrations come in. I think right now there's only about maybe 50 teams signed up. So we do, and even last year we had many teams sign up the day before or the week before the rally started. We even had YMCAs register the week of February 1st and going into February 5th. So you're never too late to join the party. Just register at that bluegoji.com/rally for the Y. And I'm reading another question. So we had asked about a printout that explains the process of getting donations. We will refer as many as we can to the app, but we will still have some that want to visit a website. Absolutely. So you can do that on the app or the website. You can ask for donations and share your donation page. We tried to make both because we do know inevitably some people are still prefer to be on a desktop. As for a printout, we'll make that. That's a great question. So we do have in the process, we didn't want to release them prior to this webinar about the app and the new system and the leaderboards, because we didn't want to confuse people if you've never seen it before and then you're supposed to put it on a poster and post it around your YMCA. So we have, like I said, just check back in with that page, bluegoji.com/rally for the Y, because we're going to continually add, especially because this is the 10th year rally and we hopefully have more fun surprises ahead. We're going to be adding updates to that website and also the bulletin within the app. So we will make sure to spell this out as easily as possible to help people know. We already have a graphic made about, download the app here and where to look for the app. And we'll walk through. I'm going to write that down right now. Donors understand this new process of donating. Okay. All right, I have someone say that they're not seeing the app available for Androids yet. And I apologize if that's the case. Let me look. I know that it was supposed to be released to Androids, but that potentially things were taking longer. Angie, do you know?
So it looks like it is something that is definitely going to be released. It's just not on there yet.
Okay.
So we can confirm when it'll be on there and
Okay.
let everybody know.
I have heard that sometimes it's been pushed from our team, so it should be out there in the Android world. Angie has an Android, so she's checking in too for it. But that sometimes those systems can take like 24 hours to update. So just keep checking back. It should be there soon. Yes. So, great question that I want to clarify, that if you are a writer or a staff member, and this is really important, you cannot raise funds for more than one location. You have to commit to one location. And you might be wondering, why is that? Well, if you have a supporter donate 30 cents per mile and you log X amount of miles at YMCA A and X amount of miles at YMCA B, then at the end of the month, they would have to be like, okay, I need to donate $25 to this YMCA and $44 to this YMCA. So it just gets complicated. If some YMCAs, I know not all, some association level YMCAs have just one donation link, but some locations have their specific location link. And so we try to simplify the process. So if you're a staff member that rotates through your YMCAs, you're going to be committed to one of those YMCAs. If you want to transfer which one that you're automatically assigned to, you can reach out to us. But if, and same for members too, but we're just trying to make the process as easy as possible for you to actually get those pledges fulfilled as donations. And just to be clear too, with that, you will be assigned to one location, but you can physically ride at the two. That's not the issue. The issue is that if you physically ride for the two, they're only going to go to the one location. So all your miles will only show up for this location. So all your miles will be accounted for, no matter where you ride. But according to the leaderboard, it will only show one location, not two. I hope that's clear. I hope I didn't confuse people more than where we started. How does that work if riders are not having to register? Great question. So they're going to be assigned, I believe the system does it to the location they frequent the most. I will confirm that and let everyone know on Wednesday. But it's already in the system. They're already assigned to a location just in general. So I will confirm what that is, but it's supposed to be the location that they spend the most of the time at. And I did get confirmation from our team. So the QR button, so when you download the app, you're going to see the QR code, but if you have the latest product model of the bikes, you won't see the QR code populate on the bike for that easy login until the middle of next week. So just keep an eye out for that. And that's when people can start using the app for the quick login when they go and hop on the bike. All right. I think that's it. I hope if you think of any more questions, just please feel free to email me and email Angie. You likely already have our information. Hopefully you've received emails from me. If you have not, or if you've not received any of the marketing emails or any emails about the Rally for the Y, please let us know, because that means you've either opted out of the emails in the past or we didn't have you in the system. And so we want to make sure that you're fully informed, whether it be email or the app or Facebook. So just email me at Casey, that's Casey with a K, I believe it's on the screen, at bluegoji.com, and say, hey, I'm not receiving the Rally for the Y marketing emails. I'll add you to the list so that you get those updates. We're going to be doing regular updates, encouraging you guys, and hopefully giving you new ideas throughout the month. Again, I hope this was helpful. I know it's a lot to take in. Go check out that new leaderboard page. View the promo kit. Again, I think I've said it 1,000 times, but bluegoji.com/rally for the Y, or straight to the leaderboard at rallyforthey.com. We hope you can encourage members to join in. And we look forward to doing a little bit more training next week for those wanting to get into the details. So thank you and have a great evening, everybody.